Hey, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to Life Mastery Decoded, where I help you decode the struggles in your life in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, and spirituality with mind mastery, emotional management, and meditation. Welcome to today's podcast. Hey, ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's podcast, where I hope I am finding you calm with clarity. If you are not calm or you don't have clarity, then it is my intention that in today's episode, I give you one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. So today we're going to talk about one of my least favorite emotions, but I have come up with a couple of things to help overcome overwhelm. Overwhelm is a very high energy, chaotic energy that resonates in the upper chakras. So it's high up in the mind, in the third eye, in the throat. It tends to resolve itself, sometimes coming out as anger, frustration, disappointment, and starts to move at this pace that feels uncontrolled. Have you ever felt overwhelmed? And think of the thing or the things that you are doing that create the emotion of being overwhelmed. For me, it is almost every time I sit in front of technology. I'm not sure what it is about technology that you have this immense amount of freedom, that you can go anywhere, you can open as many tabs as you like, you can listen to music or not, there's videos, there's pop-ups, there's GIFs all over, there's all this chaos. And when you, go to a website, go to a page, go to Google even, search anything and watch what happens to the screen. There's all of these things that light up, pop up, move, dance, that distract your attention. To me, the opposite of overwhelm is concentration. And the ability to concentrate is one of the ultimate goals that can help you with feeling overwhelmed. But today, I'm going to give you some quick tips that I have used in the past that have really helped to move myself out of overwhelm and back either into calm or clarity or inspiration. Inspiration is one of my favorite emotions because as I'm creating courses or making posts or recording podcasts, it's really fun for me to be inspired and for me to feel like I'm tapped in to my higher self and am guided through my words or my recordings or my writing. And it's one of my favorite creative emotions to be in. So when we talk about overwhelm, first I want you to think about what it is that you get overwhelmed by. What is it that's happening that creates that sense of overwhelm? And I bet it is when there's a lot of things going on at once. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of movement. You may even be moving quickly where you're trying to hurry and get things done. I notice a lot of times I feel overwhelmed, like when everybody's coming home. I've been home all day, it's been quiet. I may or may not have had a good day recording. Sometimes I have bad days when I'm home by myself. I get frustrated with technology. But then everybody's coming home and dinner's getting ready, and then we have showers, and we have chores, and we have dishes, and getting dinner on the table, and all this stuff happens at once. It tends to spiral a little bit. And so what is it for you? What is it that you may be going through that creates that sense of overwhelm? And just to recognize the activity can really help you to become empowered when it comes to knowing that emotion. So when I know that, a lot of times it's technology. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do something in either of the groups. I'm going to put some things, some calls on the calendar. I'm going to do something as far as technology. I'm going to upload, I'm going to record, I'm going to do something. Before I even get to the computer, I can feel that sense of chaos and that sense of overwhelm. So I might do some things ahead of time to bring myself into that relaxed position instead of just mindlessly going towards the computer. So being aware of what may be a trigger for you can definitely help to create some I want to say like presets, some pre-activities that you can do before the chaos is going to ensue. Now, those are the things you could do ahead of time. So breathing deeply, calming your mind, maybe really focusing on what your task is going to be and focusing on one thing at a time instead of 12 things at a time. So for example, the kids are coming home, Amy's coming home, we're going to start dinner, there's chores, there's dishes, the dogs need to be fed, there's all the stuff going on, is I'm going to stop before I start all of that, and I'm going to stop and I'm going to say, what can I focus on right now? What is the thing that I want to put all of my attention onto that is just going to help slow the chaos down? Right now, I'm just going to focus on dinner, and that's it. And as I focus on dinner, then I'm just going to put all of my attention and all of my energy there. Don't worry about the dishes. Don't worry about the chores. Yes, of course, feed the dogs. That takes 4 seconds, so get that over with. But thinking about the thing that gives you the feeling of the sense of overwhelm, and then taking the pieces out and saying, what do I want to focus on? I think the opposite of overwhelm is concentration. And the art of concentration, which I did a podcast a while ago, the art of concentration can definitely help you as you go through these steps, is to pick one thing to focus on and finish that one thing. I find a lot of times that feels so empowering to me when let's say I'm fixing one of the boys' toys or something, and I've got some glue out, or I've got the screwdriver out or whatever, is that I fix the toy, I give the toy back to them, and then I leave those things out on the table. And now that just piles up in my environment, creating chaos. So instead, I'm going to put the screwdriver back. I'm going to put the glue back. I'm going to put any other tools back. And it wraps up the whole thing and gets it completely off of my mental list. The more I can clear my mental list, the better I'm going to feel in my thinking. So a lot of times we make, physical lists, but when you're doing those little tasky things, that it's really important to wrap it up completely. So these are all things that we can do ahead of time, and those work really well. And it's being in this present moment and kind of adjusting. What can I do? Can I maybe just breathe a little bit, maybe meditate, maybe just organize my thoughts, maybe just pick the one thing I want to focus on. So when I open the computer, I'm not distracted by all these advertisers that want my attention. I literally can open the computer and do the one thing without opening 100 tabs, without doing a whole bunch of things, make that decision, and then I can stay focused, then not allowing overwhelm to take over. Now, let's just say overwhelm has taken over. You have sat down at the computer, you've opened the tabs, you're moving around the house with a whole bunch of things, you have kids all around, everybody's asking for your attention. Is that one thing you can do is to take a time out, is basically to put yourself in timeout and to just say, okay, I need a break. And we're stopping whatever the overwhelm thing is that's being created. I'm going to take a break. I'm leaving the computer. I'm walking out of the kitchen, whatever it is. And I'm going to go and sit down for a moment. And I'm going to tap into and give attention to my senses. I'm going to breathe, and I'm going to focus on my breathing. I'm going to slow my breathing down. Because remember, overwhelm is a very high energy feeling, so we want to do the opposite. We want to slow everything down. So slow your breathing down on purpose. Breathe in, feel it, feel the air coming in and filling your lungs all the way to the top. Breathe out, emptying your lungs completely and feeling the air leave your body. And continue to do that. Maybe you could make hand gestures as the air comes in and the air goes out. And it's slowing down and becoming present to your senses. Maybe you could smell something that smells beautiful, light incense, or smell some flowers or potpourri or essential oils, something that you absolutely love that will just shift your thinking and slow your mind down. You could even move into the other senses of looking at something that is lovely or beautiful, touching something that is lovely or beautiful, moving into things that taste good. Maybe you get a little piece of chocolate and just feel it melting in your mouth. Anything that slows you down. And then from there, now you can go back and do some of the, I want to say presets. If you have to go back in and tackle this thing that makes you overwhelmed, is now you can go back in and choose a couple of things before the overwhelm sets back in again. Another thing that you could do is, because it's a high energy, as we always talk about energy, is releasing the energy of overwhelm. I have a gym downstairs, and I used to be a boot camp instructor and a personal trainer, and so I have tons of equipment. I have a treadmill and a bike and a workout machine and all kinds of, I actually have a couple of bikes. And anyway, so if I'm feeling this energy, I can go and exercise, which helps bring my energy back down. Exercise is a very grounding movement activity. It's in the lower chakras, moving your body, moving your legs. All of this can help to reground yourself and diffusing the overwhelm energy. And as you're diffusing and releasing this energy is to then say to yourself, what can I bring in? If I don't want to feel overwhelmed, what do I want to feel? And a lot of people will say calm or peace. For me, it's clarity or inspiration. And so I will want to bring in clarity and inspiration. If I'm sitting down at the computer, that's usually meaning that I'm trying to create something for my groups. I'm trying to make an inspirational post, or I'm trying to engage with them somehow, or I'm trying to put something out there to let them know what we do, what classes we might have coming up, or what calls, or what offerings we have to help them on their spiritual journey. So, but it can be very overwhelming. So I can ask for clarity and concentration when I'm going to do that. It helps me to focus. Another thing you can do is to, and this is really fun, especially if you can't really get away from, you really have to stay in the kitchen. The kids are around. I'm a mom. I can't leave my 3 and 4-year-old unattended. I can't go meditate or go downstairs on the treadmill. I can't do these things. One thing you can do is start to move in slow motion. It sounds completely ridiculous, but it's another way to diffuse this high energy emotion, is to now, even you can engage with your kids and say, okay, you guys, now we're going to take this time and we're going to move in slow motion. And you talk really slow and you move really slow. Not only is it fun if you're engaging with other people, but it slows you down. It also, you can't focus on 17 things at once. You can focus on one thing at a time. So I hope that this finds you well. I hope that if you are experiencing the high energy emotion of overwhelm, that I hope you take a few moments to just collect your thoughts, slow down, and become present. Use a couple of the presets that I suggested, and even, of course, feel free to come up with your own, anything that works for you, that can just slow you down, create the ability to focus, and allow that overwhelm to just reset into something that's calmer. And if you have already gotten into overwhelm, then use some of my examples that work for me, but also come up with things that work for you. Feel free to explore and create your own sense of awareness as it relates to this emotion that sometimes can be really uncomfortable. So I hope that if this works for you, that you will come into our Lady Rising group and share it with us. When you get the membership questions, just say, hey, I came in through your podcast, and you can share the lessons, the experience that you've had with this particular podcast in our group. We would love to hear about your success stories. And if you're still struggling and you want some ideas, we're there to support you. I hope you join us. And in the meantime, keep moving forward and keep transforming. If you liked this episode and look forward to future episodes, please consider making a small monthly donation to help support this podcast. If you are looking for a community to join and have more access to me, then consider one of the following platforms. Chakras for Beginners is an energy-based community that is highly active and growing every day. Lady Rising is a sistership community where the focus is on spiritual support and connection. We hold monthly calls and talk about topics such as today's episode. We also have an online store where you can meet your meditation and chakra needs with products for your journey. You can visit us at www.themeditationroomtc.com. Thank you for joining me and being a valued listener.